What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of the BabexPete Story. Left off talking about all the stuff with Mixer and whatnot, and kind of the end of our Mixer career, so to speak. And 2 months ago, the end of April this year, we announced that we were going to stream exclusively on Twitch, and we were leaving Mixer.
This was something that we had talked about a little bit, off stream here and there.
For a while beforehand.
It wasn't something that was as abrupt of a decision as it probably seemed from the outside eye. There were a lot of reasons that we decided to make that decision. One of the main ones for me personally was the fact that I was playing a lot of non-mainstream games during the day, including things like Xenoblade, Link's Awakening. We did Breath of the Wild, Ori, 1 and 2, and Hellblade, lots of things that didn't really have built up directories. And on Mixer, a directory that's not mainstream, that's not the top 10, 20, let's say, usually has 0 people in it. So a lot of the directories that I was streaming in had no directory at all, which made it really difficult to see growth in anything that wasn't pretty much Destiny or Fortnite or Apex. I'm just trying to think of the games that we played that we actually saw growth in.
Yeah. Even Destiny, Warframe, it was there. Destiny
or
existed,
Warzone.
It was there.
Yeah, so most of our growth on Mixer came from Destiny or Fortnite, and back when we were streaming Fortnite, we talked about this. We actually really enjoyed the game. It wasn't to see growth, but yeah. So the other thing was that the overall platform growth had been stagnant for quite some time. This was something that we'd seen reports about multiple times.
For a long time. It just really was not going up. It was starting to go up around the time that we moved.
Yes.
And it was slowly but steadily increasing. So I feel like we still had hope that it was going to happen. And then the other thing is, when we first came to Mixer, there were a lot of new features coming out. They were pushing change and updating stuff and adding things in. And that was hopeful as well. But then it seemed to kind of just stop. It just stalled out. They were talking about, we're bringing this, and we just never saw it happen. Just things that should have been there from the beginning, really, and things where Twitch was adding new features left, right, and center real quick, and Mixer was just kind of failing to keep up.
Yep.
And so we had to, like Babe said, we had talked about this a bunch of times leading up to our final decision, and we did our whole, like we said before in some previous episodes, we did some restreaming, we streamed to other platforms at the same time. And then I think a big kicker for us was when we found out that when we streamed just to Twitch, it went really well. Those streams were a lot of fun. We got a lot of engagement. It worked really well. So that was kind of reassuring to us that we could make the switch and it wouldn't be super detrimental.
Yep. In our first 2 weeks of streaming on Twitch, we surpassed our previous month's Mixer subs. And that was super awesome. Twitch Prime definitely helps there.
100%.
And just kind of the ease of supporting, being able to support people through gifted sub bundles, just how easy it is to buy bits, and the fact that you can do this stuff on mobile and different platforms, and it's
all there.
It's just all there, and it all works, most of the time. And that wasn't really something we had on Mixer, so yeah.
So our experience moving to Twitch has been overall very positive.
Yep.
Things have gone very well. We have seen a slight decline in viewer numbers comparative to our Mixer numbers, and just in concurrent viewers, but interaction has been the same, if not better. A lot more engaging. People are talking with each other and with us more.
Yep.
And we believe this is mostly due to a couple things. First, the auto host and lurk for lurk culture on Mixer. Even if it's not blatant out in the open, it's still happening a lot. Just in general, people are going to try and support their friends, and open up tabs and whatnot. But the way that Mixer displays its viewer numbers is a little a little different than Twitch, so we've seen that go down, but it's still been very good. And overall, the level of maturity of the average viewer on Twitch seems to be a little higher. And this is tertiary, but I've heard that the actual age of people signing up on Twitch is on average a little older.
I would believe
than
that.
On Mixer, which makes sense. Mixer is,
well, I think
is
one of
also
the reasons
based on console too.
Yeah, I think a lot of the reason that the Mixer viewer age was lower was that you had kids that were getting an Xbox for Christmas, their birthday, whatever, and then they tab to the right and Mixer's pre-installed in your Xbox, and you already have an account because you have a gamer tag, which is your Microsoft account, which becomes your Mixer account. So it's just like really easy for them to like log in. You don't even really have to make an account because you already have one. So you log in and then there's all these people, and the fact that it's on your Xbox the way it is, I think almost made it feel like for kids they were like looking for people to play with. So it'd be like, oh, like
which makes sense. If you have your Xbox on, you probably want to play a game.
Yep.
Right? Like
you probably didn't turn it on to
play. You turn it on probably to play, and you're like, oh, what's this Mixer thing? And it also, like, when they promote different like clips or streams or whatever on the dashboard on console, you see their title.
Yep.
And a lot of people are going to have in their title open lobby or play with me or like let's play squads or this or that. And I don't blame them for having that mentality of going to Mixer streams to play with them. Not to mention, as a kid, if I put myself in a younger person's mindset, and like when I was 14, 15, hell yeah, that'd be hella cool to play with a streamer.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of that, especially playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
They want to play with you because it's cool. It's real cool. So
there's less of that on
There's
Twitch.
A little bit less of that.
It's just a different it's a different culture, it's a different experience. We definitely met a ton of really, really awesome people on Mixer. And then there was also a lot of trolling and a lot of kids and a lot of immaturity and a lot of can I play and then getting mad when you say no. I actually feel like we've dealt with a lot less trolls in general on Twitch than we did in our time on Mixer. Even if I look 100%. At like month to month, we had a lot more stuff going on the Mixer side than we've had on the Twitch side, and overall the experience for us has just been really good.
Yeah, and we can only really speak to our experience, right?
Yep.
Like maybe it's different for other people, but this is what we've experienced. And the other thing I wanted to point out that was really exciting for us to move back to Twitch is we started on Twitch.
Yes.
This is where we started streaming. This is where we got to know all these awesome people in the Destiny directory, in the community. And it was really exciting to have taken 2 months on Mixer, got a partner, worked on building a business. 2 years. I said 2 months. I meant 2 years.
I was waiting to see where you were going with that before I corrected you.
build our skills, build it into a business, into a brand. Really refine what we're doing, and then go back to where we started, go back to our home, go back to the Destiny community on Twitch was literally our family and our home.
A whole new like look on what it means to be a content creator, and a whole new like attitude to just everything, an outlook on everything, and an understanding of things we didn't think about before. So it's like really cool to come back and feel like we've elevated ourselves since we were last on Twitch, and now we're like just that much better at everything that we want to be. I don't know. It's been cool.
It's been really cool. And it's been really cool to be in the same directory as these old faces that I say old. You're not old, guys. If you're watching this, you're not old. We're all young at heart. But to kind of be back in that community again, just even in the directory, because as much as you want to support your creators wherever they go, the habits are going to be formed. If you spend a lot of time on Twitch, there's not a whole lot of reason to step over to Mixer, and we're super grateful for all the people that did hop over to Mixer and watch us, because I know it's not the easiest thing to.
It's definitely a different experience.
It's a different thing.
I think one of the things, going back to the thing that I was most worried about on Mixer, which was the fact that I was playing a bunch of games that weren't really mainstream, and they had no directories. Coming to Twitch and having basically every single game have a directory means I'm not worried about what I decide I want to play and what I want to stream. So we've seen growth in every single directory that we've been in, including stuff like Jackbox and like Gang Beasts. Like we've had new people come in, follow, like hang out, come back. Doesn't matter what we're doing, we've seen growth in some area, and that's like really reassuring and like feels really good to not feel like you have to play certain things or stream certain games or create certain types of content, because
or you're hurting yourself
no matter where you are. You're gonna meet some new people. Like that's been really,
and it was
really nice.
crazy. Like when you streamed I think it was Xenoblade, there's literally nobody in the directory and you were the only one streaming it, and it was a surprise when someone new came in. It was like, how did you find me? I'm the only one in this directory. How did you stumble on this? But like, you're gonna have those anomalies where they're actually looking for that game. And
Zelda Breath of the Wild was that way on Mixer. I think I was pretty much the only person in that directory most days. Occasionally there were some other people in there, but new people would come in because they're looking for Breath of the Wild, right? Like Breath of the Wild is one of those games that a lot of people really loved, and a lot of people really like the Zelda franchise, and it's something that people look for. But like other smaller titles, not so much. So yeah. So anyways. So we're actually getting pretty much caught up to where we are now. So
what we're going to talk about next is basically a recent what we've been doing the past month, basically. We've decided to streamline our content a little bit, kind of have certain directions where we're going to go, make sure there's only certain games that we're going to play to kind of help us with structure and help us know what we're going to be doing and not overwhelm ourselves as well.
So this actually, like, if we take a couple steps back, we got a new PC, right? About 2 months ago. It was around the same time that we switched. I don't know if we actually talked about that.
I don't think we talked about
that, but we got a second PC. So we're open up the doors to play PC games together. And that was something that we'd want to do for a very long time. Kind of just happened to be able to do it this year. And it made us want to try all these new things. So we were trying Valorant and Warzone and different things on PC.
Play like 50 different games.
We play like so many different games and stream so many different things because we could, right? And we were like excited to try new things, and kind of like Destiny was in a little bit of a rough spot. At the end of the season, there wasn't really too much going on, so we were like quite happy to try all this stuff. So I mean, our content was like, it's always been, for the last couple years anyways, it's been like, I'd say variety, with like Destiny as like our main squeeze basically. And then we went like super variety, like we didn't even know what we were going to be playing. And that definitely made growth harder for our first little bit on Twitch, and we definitely weren't seeing like numbers that we would rant about in any way, or growth that we really were like super happy about. But looking at it, I understand that like that's one of the main reasons why. It's like we didn't even know what we were doing, so how is anybody else supposed to know?
No one else can know it.
But that was definitely like PC hype, and like, oh my gosh, we can play whatever we want, we can do whatever we want, and like not really thinking about like having any sort of plan for our content.
So there were a couple things that helped us kind of dial that in, and first just realizing what was going on and knowing that, hey, we're like doing way too many things. The second was restructuring our schedule a little bit. And just being okay with, okay, we don't play these games on stream, but if we schedule ourselves tight enough, we'll have opportunity then to just hang out and do whatever. So that means we can play games that we wouldn't want to stream, but we just want to play every now and then. And one example being Warzone. We realized that streaming Warzone wasn't that great. They wasn't enjoying it that much, and it's a BR, so inherently you have to pay attention all the damn time. With everything, so that takes away from interacting with stream, and that's what we want to do. So having extra time, we would stream, then we'd hop off, and then I'd play a few games of Warzone, and Babe would play some Valorant or something.
So it's kind of cool.
Do whatever, and then you kind of get that ability to kind of do what you want, but also do what you need to do.
It's kind of cool because this actually ties into what we're going to be talking about in the Patreon tip tomorrow, which is like literally making time to play games off stream. And I'm going to be talking about this kind of stuff and how we kind of got there. Because I think it's important to understand that like just because you play something or you decide you want to play a game doesn't mean you have to stream it. It doesn't mean you have to make YouTube videos. It doesn't mean anything. Like, it's not a waste of time for you to take time for yourself and enjoy something that maybe doesn't mesh with the type of content you create. In fact, I think it's good. And it took us a really long time to get to the point where we kind of understood that, because it felt like every time we were gaming when we weren't...
You better be streaming.
When we weren't streaming, it was like, well, we might as well be streaming. Like, this is wasted time. But it's definitely a lot less burnout and a lot more feeling like you can just sit and hang out and enjoy games when it's not like work, you know? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, there are lots of people that do streaming as 100% pure hobby. Then there's a lot of people that do it, you know, mixed hobby and business. And there's a lot of people that just do it kind of as like a business thing, but they enjoy it. And, you know, I think it's just really important to be able to enjoy things completely separate. Yep. So, yeah, that's my little rant about that. But just think about it.
It's cool because it gives you an opportunity to kind of... sometimes you need to step back and game without also streaming. And it kind of reminds you like why you enjoy games.
Yes.
Just in general.
Yep.
It doesn't always have to be on stream, and on stream is a different experience. I'm sure anyone will tell you if you stream a game versus play it offline, that's going to be a very different experiences.
Yes. I think it's also like we've decided to streamline our content in a way where you can expect certain types of content, but we're still variety, and we're still open to playing different things without really compromising the structure that we've created for ourselves. So I realized, looking back at everything that I've played, I really, really like Nintendo games. I grew up on Nintendo games. And a lot of the remakes that are coming out, I'm playing for the first time. That's super exciting. And then I really like platformers, and that's what I grew up on, was Nintendo and platformers. And a lot of the platformers I played were Nintendo. So I'm comfortable saying that like that's what I'm going to play during the day, because I know that there's so many different games that fall into that, but it's like they're similar in a way.
The structure and genres is very similar.
Yeah. And then we also were looking at games that were coming out, supposed to be coming out this year, that we were looking forward to. I'm not entirely sure when they're coming out now. They don't have a release date. But Genshin Impact and Blue Protocol are two that we keep talking about because we're so excited about them coming out. And Blue Protocol is going to be an MMO. And we've never really... We streamed like maybe a month of WoW on and off.
Yeah.
But we never really put time into learning how to stream an MMO, or like it's totally different from streaming something like Destiny. It's not the same content. It's not, you don't act the same way. Like, it's just different.
It's a different genre.
So, kind of like looking ahead at what we wanted to get into, we started to reflect on what we should be doing now to like make ourselves better and prepared for that.
So that's when we started playing Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
We're going back and forth between Final Fantasy and WoW, and I'm glad we picked Final Fantasy. It's been a really fun experience so far, and it's new to me.
Yep.
I played WoW for 2 or 3 years back in the day, so it was nice to experience a different but similar vibe. Yep. And it's been a lot of fun, and when we're recording this right now, which is the 2nd, we're getting married in Final Fantasy on the 4th. Yep. It's official. The real marriage.
It is official. But it's just been really cool to know that like the kinds of content that we want to create and the types of games we want to play on stream, but knowing that like if I want to play something else, I just do it offline. So our community kind of has a little bit of a better expectation of what to expect, a better expectation of what to expect.
Better expectation. You just added too many words.
And we kind of have, you know, more of a plan of what we want to do, and there's kind of less, what are we doing? What are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow? And it feels good to have that.
And then this is also a something that we've referred to as our variety formula. But we are basically having has her stuff during the day, and then sometimes during the day you'll play Destiny if there's
sometimes,
and then we have Destiny as our main shooter, and we have Final Fantasy as our main MMO. And that still gives us wiggle room to be like, oh hey, like for example, Godfall's coming out later this year, and that looks interesting. It looks really cool. I don't know if we'll like it, maybe we won't, but we can always slot in a day to try that out pretty easily, because our content isn't too
it's not just one thing.
It's not just one thing, so it's not odd when we add something different, but it's also not too many different things that if we were to, for example, throw in a Godfall day, we're not sacrificing a whole lot of other stuff. So I think we're getting it dialed in.
I think
a little bit.
We're constantly
for the meantime,
looking at.
Anyways, it's always going to change.
Yeah, we're constantly looking at like what we do and how we can like do the things we want while also like having like consistent growth. And there's definitely no like right or wrong answer. It's not going to be the same for us as it will be for necessarily whoever's watching this. But I think it's pretty safe to say like when you play lots of different things, like there's no connection between anything, it's a lot harder to see consistent growth than it is from just playing one thing.
However, I will say that I think the amount of attention we have to put into this side of things is magnified by it being two of us on stream.
Yes.
I feel like this problem wouldn't be as big of a problem for a solo streamer. Solo, you can play whatever you want a lot easier because you'll be playing whatever and be like, I don't want to play this. Let's throw this on. So you swap directories and play no problem. Well, we've talked about this before as well. What if your second streamer, me or Babe, doesn't want to switch? What if they're having a blast? So then you're in a predicament, right? So kind of laying it out ahead of time and having a structure as far as
it works really well
we're going to play,
us.
It works a lot better because there's an expectation. We know what we're going to be playing. This is what we're playing. We don't have to be like, hey, what do you want to play? And she'll be like, I don't know, what do you want to play? And I'm like,
we literally
I want to play this. Oh, well, I don't want to play that. I want to play this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it can be rough for sure. It's definitely a lot easier when you're a solo player. I think what I was getting at is that it for if you only play and stream one thing and create YouTube content on one game, for example, say all you do is Destiny, your viewers are going to know that that's what you do, and they like your Destiny content, they play Destiny, they came from the Destiny directory, whatever, right? That's where most of your viewers will come from. So when that's the only expectation, you're probably going to see fairly consistent growth because you're there every day and you're very, very consistent in what you do. But the second that you decide that's not for you anymore and you do something different, it's like, whoa, like a huge change, right? And then nobody's going to expect that. Whereas when you have different things that you do quite regularly, your growth might not be as quick. But at least people expect you to do different things. So say like Destiny's not for you anymore, it's not like as wild of a change, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that right.
Basically what you're trying to say is you're future-proofing yourself for adapting in the future.
Yes, but I'm also not trying to say that like you can't be successful doing one thing, because that would be absolutely bonkers. There are definitely
because that's actually a very good strategy, and that's a good way. Like you said, if you're there all the time in that directory, people know what to expect. They know what content to expect. They know what to expect out of you. You know what to provide to them, and that's a constant that you can you can use to push your content forward.
Yes.
Whereas if you're completely variety, as far as not a whole lot of structure at all, and you're just kind of playing whatever, and you're playing like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different games in a week, then it can be a little confusing, as far as you're not going to be known as a producer of this type of content or a producer of this type of content. And in that case, I feel like the onus is on, or your priority has to be on the content coming out of you as the streamer.
Yeah.
Which is what you see out of a lot of variety streamers that do really well, is it's their content is themselves, and mostly themselves.
Yes.
Mostly from them, as opposed to related to the game itself. So it's good stuff. We also been trying to be more consistent in what content we put out.
Yep.
And kind of trimmed a few things down as well. Recently we just kind of put the podcast on hold.
Yep.
To a lot more time for some other endeavors, which we may talk about maybe in the next episode.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe later. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, like overall, we've been trying to be more consistent
In everything.
concise as well.
Yeah.
As far as sure not making sure all our time is being spent well, also, leaving time to game off stream. Yeah.
But yeah, just basically what Pete's saying is, and
well, that's what I meant by our time being spent well.
Yeah,
if we're using our time wisely and accurate, then that allots us more time for our own mental health. And our own time to relax.
This last month has really just been about like figuring out what we want, figuring out how to get there, figuring out how to improve, and like dialing in on how to do that, and the types of things we want to do, and just being consistent.
And that's we're always going to be adapting on that front, and always be changing, because those things will change. Yep. And we have to be willing to adapt. But overall, it's been really good, and I've especially been enjoying the people that have come through, and you've seen it in action. We've been gaming Final Fantasy offline, just hanging out in Discord, just chatting with people, and
there are so many people that play Final Fantasy that I didn't know played Final Fantasy online.
I've made it like a thing now. I feel like I just have to ask everyone that I haven't asked
because
yet.
Everybody's
do you play Final
tried
Fantasy?
it.
Because this person does that I didn't know before, and all of a sudden everyone plays Final Fantasy.
I had no idea. So it's been really cool, and I'm really excited for the wedding on the weekend. And I think that's going to be really fun. And
hell yeah!
We're just having a blast doing the things we want to do while still being fairly consistent, and it feels really good. So thank you to everybody that's been supporting us on Twitch.
Yep, we appreciate it.
There's a really cool thing this week where Bungie added in like a bonus with Twitch Prime, or with Twitch, where you could gift subs and earn like in-game emblem and stuff
through the Destiny. So I believe it was Bungie coordinating with the creators of the official Destiny 2 extension. And there's a bounty there where if you give 2 subs in a stream where they have the Destiny 2 extension active, 2 subs to anyone, doesn't matter, you get a shader, an emblem, some like enhancement cores and XP,
super
and trial
cool
tokens and stuff. But like the emblem's purple and the shader's purple with a little bit of green, and it looks lit.
It's just really cool to see that kind of stuff happening. Again, that has never, you wouldn't see something like that on Mixer.
No.
So I know that we had a really hype day the other day because of that, and so did so many other people. So it's just really cool to see that kind of stuff happening. To everybody that's moved from Mixer to Twitch or Mixer to Facebook or whatever, we wish you the very best, and y'all are killing it from what I see. So
hell yeah,
just keep it up.
Definitely.
So we're completely caught up right now, pretty much.
So the next episode is going to be on current.
It's going to be on current stuff. They might be a little bit shorter. Just depends on how much is going on between now and then. And
this might end up being kind of our not watered down. That's the opposite. Condensed version of our podcast, basically, where but it'll be focused on content creation only.
Yeah.
So be good.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we will see you next time.
Peace.